my channel if they're in danger, and you can comment and not be a member. But right now it's members only. And look, we just got new members. So new members. So I'm pretty sure that it is working on YouTube. That was gonna be my question. If any of you on YouTube can comment, perfect. You can hear it in the background, Dan.
Yeah, Nex is watching it inside.
Okay, good. Well, make sure you don't get any feedback because that'll screw it up. But good on you.
Yeah, don't do something stupid.
It's quiet enough.
I had it brought up. So it's working.
You want to take Big Easy here, Jordan? We got Big Easy. Who are you?
Who are you? Yeah, come on, tell us about yourself.
That's a good question. Where do you want me to start, Jordan?
Well, I don't know. I keep seeing TikToks where you're in the yard there with the guys helping out. I keep seeing them. I'm like, I haven't met this guy, but Junkyard Restoration kind of stuff. That's what I've seen.
So, I mean, first of all, I'll cover anybody that notices here. You're going to notice my crazy eyes. You'll get used to it. I can actually switch them. I see fine. But I had spinal meningitis when I was a kid, and I was paralyzed for 9 months. So I got one crazy eye because everybody always asks on podcasts, how did you get that? That's how.
We can't make jokes.
I didn't know that.
Oh, I don't care if anybody makes a joke. Anybody can say whatever they want about me. I don't give a shit. To be honest.
Has anyone ever said you have blue eyes?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, one blue east, one blue west.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard them all, Jordan.
Big Easy has thick skin.
Yeah. So I ended up at Edison, actually. I mean, I was a fan from the start, but of all things, Chase was a fan of what we do here. Our original channel is called The Car Guys, Coastal Auto Reaction. And then a production company hired us to do Junkyard Resurrection. We were doing a live stream, and Chase happened to see me doing the live stream, and there was an Edison hat there. So he came on and said, holy crap, you're on here now, et cetera, et cetera. One thing led to another. He invited us. Before I knew it, Dan was putting mud flaps on the back of our Ram. And all of a sudden, I was helping build a truck that I truly believed in, because I hate EVs with a passion. I think they're stupid. But I thought what Edison was doing was a wicked idea and made sense. So once Chase invited me to come, it just kind of snowballed from there. And him and I and the Edison team, Dan Theron's going to film it. We're going to work on a retrofit kit for the smaller trucks for people, 1 tons, 3 tons, delivery truck like that.
Yeah, very cool.
That's a question we get all the time is Edison Motors going to do light duty pickups and stuff? So the answer here, as you heard it, is we're working on it.
We're working.
I had talked to one guy too. Sorry, I was just talking to one guy too who was asking me about like what our most basic kit will be. So for smaller trucks like this or like a single axle semi, like are we going to do the one where we keep their axle? Or are we always swapping EV axles? I don't even know the answer to that right now. You guys got any more on it?
Well, the goal right now, there's nothing. We've got 3 ideas. One would be an e-axle swap. One would be a complete retrofit, a miniature version of Topsy with an e-axle. And another one would be, I've been talking with advanced adapters, and keep in mind, this is all very, very early. Nothing's been set in stone. Nothing's been set up, etc. Where we could retrofit a pickup truck, say like a 77 F-250 with a big block in it, where you could actually switch it, like having dual transfer cases, to have e-drive and run the big block. So you want to rumble into a car show with the big block on, you can get out onto the highway, or in a truck like Darren's with a 6.6 D-Max, you stick the e-drive on and away you go. You can use the regen to slow down. Those are the 3 base ideas. The main one we'd like to start with is like a drop-in toolbox kit in the back of the truck to retrofit someone's pickup truck.
Very cool, very cool. I'm sure lots of people are excited to hear about that.
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal. And that's my specialty, is the pickup trucks. I've restored and done crazy will it run road trips, and that's why Chase reached out and invited me. I'm a certified ticketed diesel and automotive mechanic. Not the big trucks, but everything like 3 ton and down.
Very cool. And then
You're not touching my truck.
Yeah,
My truck is
what
not being
the
touched.
30
man.
max?
I'm not saying anything against your mechanicness, but I got the LBZ, the 6.6, 2006, man. That's the truck you want. I fucking
It is. I wouldn't want to take that truck apart. It honestly is. I'm a Dodge guy, but GMC Chevrolet, that's the truck to have.
I think Theron, hear me out. Rear end can be your 6.6, all that, and then like with the transfer case here, we go front end power, all EV. Just hit a switch and just EV pull you.
That would be kind of cool, but
that
still,
would be pretty sweet.
I think I'd buy like a different pickup if I were ever to get to the point where.
Yeah, same here. I wouldn't do it on my '68 Power Wagon we're building.
No.
I'm actually gonna go the other way. I had my 1980 F-150, and I thought that would be so cool to keep it stock. Someone could pop the hood. It's dirty in the engine bay. It looks like crap.
Yeah.
And then I go line up with them and just roast the shit out of them because I'm EV in the rear end. How cool would that be? Like I think that would be so sweet.
That is the best truck ever made. The 80 to 86 F-150 250 class.
It was a nice truck.
Bullnose, by far.
A 96. Really, it's the same truck, Dan, from 1980 all the way to 96 with a different body on it. But
it's the different front clip. But the bullnose is just, it's an era of.
It looks the best.
Well, that's the goal. Our goal is to find a clean 85, 86 crew cab F-350 4x4 long box Ford to do the first kit on. We'll see what happens there, but that I think everybody kind of loves those trucks. So that's what Chase and I have discussed on that one.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet. You guys have seen Ben Webb's truck, eh? Ben Webb's trucking. That's a sick truck. Was it like
you mean his cab over? Oh no, his pickup.
Yeah, his pickup. It's a 6-liter swap.
Huge stacks in the back. He's always got huge tractor tires on it. If you don't follow Ben Webb,
no, not
blue collar.
Like he's got a 672, and then he's got his like 1970s F250 with the 6-liter swap. Actually, yeah, that guy's got all his trucks are sweet. Definitely.
I seen he just bought a logging truck. He put up a post today. He's logging now. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I remember. I have text. He talked about he posted on Facebook about like going into small business, blah blah. And he texted me last year. I have these texts where he's like, "What should I do, man?" I'm like, "Just go for it." And he's killing it. I'm proud of that guy.
He was on the Blue Collar Interview podcast, right? He was on a post interview. So anyone who's new here following, Blue Collar Interview is an established podcast. There's over 60 episodes, I believe, maybe close to 70.
Yeah, there's quite a few out there.
Close to 70. So it's on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We have now, this is our second episode deep into the video format because we should have a video format. But if you guys want to listen to the history of Edison Motors, like they started the Blue Collar Interview podcast before Edison Motors started, and you can listen to like when it was an idea and they were talking about it and thinking about it. You can listen to
I'm getting chilled when you're talking about this because it brings me back to when it was.
I already listened to it.
Talking about the episodes, like, oh man, we got to do this. We got to do this. And Chase the next day text like, hey man, I started a company.
There's the episode like when Chase registered the company, and like you can follow the whole progression. So if you're a super fan of Edison Motors, you really got to go back to Apple and Podcast, Spotify, listen to all the Blue Collar interviews. That's how I got in with Edison Motors, because I was a diehard fan and I listened to
DM slid with you.
And I was actually I'm on a couple of podcast episodes before I came onto the team, or one anyway. And then I just like from knowing so much through the podcast, I go hang out with Chase, and Chase is like, oh, Theron actually is following everything. And then I kind of got brought onto the team, and that was a big part of it. But so go back and listen to that, guys. And then now we have a video format. We have if you're listen to this on the YouTube channel, Edison Motors, this, as soon as it's over, is getting pulled from Edison Motors YouTube channel. And it's going to go over to Edison Blue Collar. It's a new YouTube channel strictly for the podcast. And you can see it there. And if you want to comment, you're in the comments now, but you can't comment because it's members only. If you go over to the Edison Blue Collar YouTube channel, it's not members only. So if you want to get in on the comments, go over there and you can comment. But
and
throw it back to
we gotta send guys over there anyway too, just because we're gonna be doing a lot more of this, like hopefully posting once a week updates, and we'll be doing our regular interviews, interviewing guys who have to do with Edison, even guys who don't have to do with Edison, just regular updates though. That's the big thing. Updates.
Blue collar guys. We're trying to get like TikTok celebrities like Iron Mike Sharp and like Sean, the
good old ones.
What No Way guy, and like there's been some really cool people on and really good interviews. I just have to quickly, because we're new to this, I have to tell Jordan, if you go over to the private chat, I did put up a list of some talking points for this episode, and but I do want to get back to Big Easy here and the Fully Charged show. Big Easy does have a good story about how I hooked him up with a human trafficking ring, and he also has a good story about when he almost died. So we'd have to touch on that. But
sure.
How was the Fully Charged show for you?
The show was amazing. I was going to segue into that when we debut the retrofit kit at whatever show it is, I'm not letting Theron book my Airbnb. So we'd been busy working like hell on Topsy. And at that time, it was just, everybody called it something different. Prototype truck, the first truck, Dan's dude, whatever, whatever we could come up with. It didn't have a name yet. I told you I'd figure out a way, Dan. So I'm sitting there and Theron goes, what are you doing? I said, I'm trying to find a freaking hotel. We got to find a place to stay at here. Oh, and he goes, Airbnb is the way to go. Here, get the app. I'll show you how to do it. And he's looking. I already found the one. Here you go. Send it. You just got to put your card info in. You'll be good to go. This is a nice place. Grab this one.
I said look at it yourself. I said look at it yourself first.
You said it looks nice. You should get this one. You and Bobo. And it says pet friendly because we got Blake Dog, right? So long story short, we get set up at the show, do all the load in. So Bobo and I were messaging this lady, and her name's Sharon, but she's not answering. We get to the house. I'm looking around. There's a lady in front, and of all things, a Tesla. So I'm like, hey, nice Tesla. Is this your house? No. Oh, okay. So you're not the Airbnb? No. And she speeds off, and I'm like, all right. So I'm calling this lady, messaging this lady. It's a pretty big house, but it's got one of those like realtor lock boxes on the front. So she finally calls back and she says hello. And I shouldn't do the accent, but let's just say she's
don't do the accent.
So she says, "Are you there?" And I said, "Yeah, we've been here for 20 minutes." Well, how do I get in? Well, don't talk to anybody. Like, what do you mean don't talk to anybody? Don't talk to anybody. Is there anybody there? I'm like, well, no, I rented it for like the next 4 nights. So there's no one there. Not that I see. Should there be? No. And don't talk to the police. What? Don't talk to the police. Don't tell anybody.
Red flag.
Yeah.
You're just my friend visiting. And I'm like, what? Whatever. Just what's the code to the box to get into the house? 19 whatever. Okay, you're 201. I'm like, 201? Is there like different suites? Yeah. Don't talk to the police. Okay.
Back to not talking about the police.
I'm looking at my brother-in-law, Bobo, and the dog, and they're both kind of looking at the door and looking at me. So I open the door and I go in and it's empty. There's nothing in this house. Just an empty living area, and it's big. It's a giant Vancouver house with a single child's mattress with a blanket on it and nothing else. The kitchen's empty. It was like 28 plus degrees Celsius in there. So I go upstairs and I'm like, there's keys in all the doors. I open the door, and keep in mind, I'm wearing my heavy duty black high vis thing. Almost looks like security or RCP because we had just finished 4 hours of loading in at the show. And I open the door, and this new Canadian fellow with rough English goes, I don't know. I don't, and I'm not doing the accent because I want to be polite, but don't do the accent. And I'm like, you don't know? Who are you? What is going on? Please, no, don't take. I'm like, man, I'm out, okay? I look down at Bobo. He's standing in the foyer and he goes, man, I am out of here. I'm like, me too. And he's still standing there. No, no, no. And I'm like, this shit, I am out of this. This is bullshit. I am out.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I was
Good
like,
job,
what is
Dan, making him go to Airbnb. That's
Well,
crazy.
I didn't like it. Looked like a good
It was
place.
huge.
It was insane. I'm like, I am now involved in some kind of human trafficking or something.
Yeah, you
I
could
am
have just been at a
outta here.
hotel.
So
Nope.
I
So much
sent,
easier.
I sent a message to Airbnb, and they're like, we'll have the owner contact you to talk about a refund. I'm like, I ain't talking to anybody. Like, just get me out of here.
Don't call
It
the
was
cops.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There wasn't a day that went by that there wasn't a.
Here's Bobo.
Darren is banned from booking B&Bs.
Yeah.
Hey, okay, well, like I don't know. It looked good. It did. I got him to look at the link first, but then
It did
also
look good.
I booked Edison Motors Airbnb, and this is a mansion. We googled it. It was $5.5 million place. It had a fucking pool. It had like 3 living rooms.
Yeah, it turned out to
it
be
slept-
John Holmes' old house.
Yeah.
It slept 14 people. And like that was our like most of our crew, like the people who were immediately involved that were coming down with us. It should have covered most of them, so we booked it. And it was like it is on the verge of a complete teardown, restore, rebuild. Like you can, if you walk, like there's like fans, like those fans that are around when like your place floods. They're like dehumidifying fans. There was like 4 of those in every different
It was
bedroom.
rough.
And if you walk on your heels would punch through the floor. And
You
then
could Dan, joists.
yeah,
And the
Dan's
pool
going on.
had
He's
top
built
rock.
houses. The pool was like a frog would have issues in there.
Yeah.
It's the lady said if you sign in and you go in the pool, you have to sign a waiver. I'm thinking, oh, like in case you drown or something. No, it was probably in case you got a brain-eating amoeba or something.
Yeah.
Like, it was like shit was growing in there. And
We left, and Bobo goes, man, you know, Theron, I'm never letting him book anything. He tried to get us involved in human trafficking and booked Wonderland from John Holmes for the rest of the crew.
Yeah. It was in the 7. Like, no, we looked. It was built in 1982. In 1985, man, that place would have been.
Oh, it would have been
pretty
for
sweet.
sure.
I can only
Party
imagine
for sure.
the parties like around that time. There were substances
Oh, if you
flowing
were
like
into
crazy. Like
Hoover and Schneef and having a good time, that place would have
it would have been
been
a good time, but it hasn't been.
Anyway.
Definitely in that house.
I have a black
What
toenail.
else did
Right?
you want to know?
My toenail's black. It's about to fall off because the dishwasher door didn't have springs on it. So you go to open it and it just goes like almost spring loaded right in your feet on the ground. And I heard Richard like howling in the room. I'm like, what the hell is with Richard? He's like, yeah, watch out the dishwasher door. And like half an hour later, I'm like, do the exact same thing. And now my big toe nail's gonna fall off.
Sorry, Dan, you go ahead.
I'm no professional, but that house was not up to code.
No.
Where it was
not one spot.
But at the same time, if you're gonna put a bunch of 14 mechanic truck drivers in a place that's like supposed to be a mansion, it was okay for us. Like we were like, this place is big, and like it had a sauna. We didn't have to worry about like wrecking anything really. We were well behaved.
What's the hotel budget though? Like, why can't we next time we just get hotels?
It worked out to like $115 a person per night, and like in Vancouver, you're way over
Joel.
that.
Joel, the truck driver, the same guy that wore the same boxers and the same joggers all weekend and laid into his Jake brakes in downtown. When he says to me, yeah, Royal Joe, Berta Bros on TikTok. When he says to me, yo, Big Easy, that place is greasy.
I wonder how to do this.
Yeah.
Anyways, what else do you want to ask me?
Hey, listen,
I figured out how to highlight comments. That's cool. That's hilarious, Captain Crunch. Don't mind Theron getting half the crew incarcerated, another half of the life-threatening parasites. I'm pretty much, that's kind of how I roll.
Oh, Big Easy. Kate, you almost died. What is this almost dying thing?
Which time?
Well, the latest
The big one.
The
what
big
you told on the deck.
There was 2 big ones. So, Okay. Just before we lost my dad, I started feeling sick. We were all very distracted because my dad got really ill really quick at the end of 2019. And we lost dad that December. It messed with everybody's heads, but we persevered and kept on keeping on. And so Bobo and I went the following fall, so October of 2020, to a good friend of ours, Nick Panaritis, Nick's Garage on YouTube. we took our big block 383 out of my 68 that we're trying to finish right now over to Nick to get it built. When I was there, I started to, and I'm a big dude, yeah, but I started to swell up really bad. Like I had to cut my shoe off. We couldn't figure out what was going on. Enough that I almost collapsed there. Bob was like, we got to go home now. So Bobo drove the truck and trailer and everything straight back. And I got back and I probably should have seen a doctor sooner, but I got really bad about a month after. Bobo made me go into the doctors. They couldn't figure out what it was. Eventually, I got so bad, they admitted me into the hospital and said, you've got some kind of infection or something in your stomach. And I was like, oh, okay. And they can't figure out what's causing it.
He went in the pool at the Airbnb.
2 weeks. This is the following December. So December of 2020, I'm in there, and the first day they let me eat again, I wasn't feeling good after. They warned me of that. Turns out I actually have a horrible form of cancer that causes blood clots. And it made a clot hit in. There's an artery that runs up through your stomach into here. And it burst on the outside of my stomach, like blew a hole in it. So I lost 8 units of blood in about 6 minutes. Just as my wife arrived, I lost consciousness. I was in a coma. I can't remember. I think 13, 14 days. I'd have to ask Pablo. But they still couldn't figure out what was going on. But I'd lost so much blood, I was clinically dead. So I woke up, and I was showing you guys the picture. Bobo's at the end of my arm. He'd been waiting for me to wake up, and he's like that. Nobody else stuck around. So then they discharged me, and I kept getting worse, and COVID started. So then I had this hospital at home doctor. Long story short, it's called, and you'll have to, I don't know if I pronounce it right, I've got it written down because I knew you were going to have polycythemia vera is the form I had. Finally, a doctor named Dr. Sugars figured it out. And at this point, I was 565 pounds. Swollen with fluid. Oh, yeah, almost 600.
Massive.
Like, and I swelled up so much, it pushed all my teeth out, dislocated my left knee, broke my left ankle, shattered my left foot, curled all my toenails around till they touched, couldn't walk, couldn't eat, couldn't shit, couldn't nothing, couldn't do anything. So long story short, I went in for what's called immunotherapy. It's a form of chemo, but not quite the same. They still pump you full of the crazy stuff. And it caused it to go into what's called, I can't remember the exact term. It's remission. So I still have the blood clotting condition that causes it, but there isn't any active cells in my bone marrow causing my immune system to freak out. The only thing I'm really left with right now is the horrible blood clots that if I don't take massive injections of a drug called deltaparin, Fragmin is the layman name for it or whatever. They're like 25,000 units that I have to inject with myself. I can actually stroke out and die. It happened when I was working on Topsy one night. All of a sudden I went bright red and started losing consciousness. Bobo knew what was going on. Chase was right there and was like, whoa, what the hell? And then wham, it has to inject me. That's the abbreviated version of it. But
no one's supposed to die working on Topsy, so I'm really glad you didn't.
That was like, that's
That was a rule we set up on
protocol
Carl,
since.
like no dying while working.
Yeah, so
Tossie's got
that's
what?
a very brief. Yeah, the
almost
pictures
crushed
of it
arm.
are horrible. Like my skin split open like a cooked hot dog.
Yeah,
And
couldn't be around sharp objects. Just burst.
it was painful. It was I had a group of people that made it their mission to try to say I had made it up, even though I was in the hospital dying. And like, yeah, I think I showed Dan and Theron. There's a 20-second video of me the last time I coded out. My wife couldn't wake me up. I'm sitting in a chair like this, and I'm doing what's called agonal breathing. So it's like the very end of, and my wife filmed it to show the paramedics what was happening. Because by the time they got there, they brought me back, and then I was in the hospital. And yeah, it was a nightmare, but it's left me with a different view on life. I no longer will work for some big company and make somebody else rich. I only work on things I truly believe in with people that have the same kind of views as I do and the passion I do. And every day is a gift from here forward.
Jeez. What? Oh, that was gonna be a funny, almost dying story. That was emotional roller coaster.
Right?
Damn.
He told it on the deck, like right on after the big Saturday night we had in Vancouver, and it, like everyone's just like, "Oh my god!" And like even he might have like spared some details on this because we're on YouTube right now. But
big time.
It's a pretty wild story. Thanks for sharing that with us, and I'm glad that you are alive. Okay, should we segue? Okay, go for it.
Oh no, I was just gonna. Speaking of health stuff, I was gonna ask you about your kidney stones because you haven't been doing a bunch of videos lately because you've been going through that, and we're talking about people messed up with health. Talk about that one.
I will, and I was like going to be like, maybe we should like kind of go into something else, then come back. But I'm with you.
Okay, we can.
We can. Okay, guys. If you're wondering what happened, like why we're so behind on the YouTube videos and whatnot, like I have been into the hospital twice in the last 3 months, 2 months, like hardcore hospital with kidney stones. And I don't know if you've ever had kidney stones or have heard about them, but it is comparable to the pain of childbirth. And in some cases, even with women, they say kidney stones is worse. So I have 3 kidney stones. I've got rid of one. I'm passing one, and I have one to get rid of that needs surgery. So what happened was the last night of Fully Charged, and like I knew, like I have an appointment next week with a urologist to set up a surgery, but I knew it was going to hit, and like we knew a month and a half ago. So me and Chase were like, "Oh, watch, it's going to hit at Fully Charged." Thankfully, I got through the weekend. The last night we went out, I go to bed for 2 hours to wake up in like brutal pain. So I ended up having to come home. The week after Fully Charged, I was on morphine, just laying around my house in bed, tossing and turning, like can't even get out of bed on morphine, and it was brutal. But the first time I had my kidney stones hit, I woke up in the morning. I woke up at like 2 a.m, and it felt like I got kicked in the balls. It didn't even hurt my kidneys or my back. It was just straight in my nuts. I'm like, oh my God. And I had a dream that I was getting drugged by my nuts. And I was like, did like Alishka? Oh, and Alishka the night before sack tapped me because I was bugging her. And I'm like, oh my gosh, did she like actually cause damage? And then I was like, or did I like accidentally can myself in my sleep? So I had 4 baths that morning. Like I'd have a bath, it'd get better. I'd get out, it'd get worse. Had a bath, it got better. I get to the hospital. And then thankfully, if you have kidney stone symptoms, they fast track you. And I dealt with that. They did the CAT scan and found out I had kidney stones. The second time I waited and I was like, well, I've done this before. And they kind of just give you some painkillers and you got to ride it out. So I tried to ride it out at home with the painkillers they gave me. And by the time I was like, okay, I need to drive myself to the hospital. But the time I got to the hospital, I couldn't even sit. I couldn't stand. I just rolled around on the floor. They're like, holy shit, get this guy in here. Gave me a bunch of morphine. And so that was bad. And so then Fully Charged happened. Kidney stones hit. The next week I was laid up from kidney stones and I haven't been able to do videos. So that's why the videos from Fully Charged took so long. And now I'm finally going through them, except we got other things going on that take up my time. And that was a short story of my kidney stones. It's definitely a lot more in depth than that. Everything else, but that was the rundown. Anyone
Well,
who has kidney stones, I feel bad for you.
Fully charged?
Yeah,
we did a good run through about fully charged, but I guess we don't know it from Big Easy side and Dan, the mechanic.
Mhm.
Dan, you've been kind of quiet over there. What do you think of the fully charged show?
Honestly, it was a ton of fun. It was the light tower that actually surprised me out there.
Go on.
The light tower got a lot more attention and a lot more talk about, even downstairs, because it was like 2 levels or whatever there, and outside than I thought it would. It was super popular with everybody.
Yeah, Bobo manned the light tower. It was good. Him and Blake.
Yeah, no, it was fun because, we parked it right out front, like the main entrance, and then the light tower was just off to the side of it. The mast was full up, and the panels were, shiny with the sun and everything. And Sandy Monroe, commented on it, and yeah, it was pretty cool.
What did Sandy have to say about it?
Oh,
he came out there and saw it, right?
Yeah,
he came out there and saw it.
Yeah, because Blake, Bobo, Nex, and me were all kind of out there in Big Easy because we smoked darts and stuff. And yeah, we were all just having
smoking darts and breaking darts.
Smoking darts, yeah.
And so we're all, every time we go out there, someone new would just walk up, and we were charging the Shaw bikes because they had a little display of their e-bikes, and they plugged into our tower. The Volvo car, or Q34 or whatever, it was charging off of our light tower for a day because it
the Polster. Polster thing, they had to push it until they charged it off the Edison light tower.
Yep, we had 2 cars, a dozen or so Shaw bikes, and
100 cell phones.
Hundreds of cell phones. So many people were charging their phones, their earbuds, or all that stuff. And yeah, it was just cool. I had to send Bobo the PDF of all the information on it because I would go out there to people and talk to people, and him and Nex were just trying to this does this.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
we got to
They asked me about something to do with the solar panel. And it was one of the people I talked to about the truck. And they're like, yeah, so tell me how many giga blah, blah. And I'm like, man, I don't know anything about this thing. These things take stuff from the sun and they put it into those batteries there. And then you plug your shit in right here and it works.
Yeah, you're looking for the 454 on it. It's like, where's the big block? I don't know.
Like, yeah, you want to build a truck? I can tell you all about the truck. But
me and Eric, Eric built them. So that's how I knew some information on it. And was able to help out a little bit.
Yeah. That's cool.
I gotta keep going on that. Moving from fully charged, just a little bit more about those solar panels, solar trailers. So 3 days ago? 3 days ago, Chase and I were in Vancouver, and we actually went to the Finning Cat customer demo type thing. So we brought one of the solar trailers down there, and Chase and I hung out. And there will be a video coming on that. So we got to film in a bunch of stuff. Chase, it was a couple cool things. We got to sit in one of those in this trailer, and you sit in a seat and you get to play on screens, moving a loader, like a excavator. Excavator's actually in the side yard doing shit. So you're remote control doing it. Yeah. And the guy said that he's operated in a state in the States, and he operated, it was working 4,000 kilometers away in a pit. And it's yeah, and he can do five machines at a time.
Can you imagine Killdozer, but
control that's okay. I was gonna cut that from the video, but man, we discussed that big.
Of course, and that's what everyone thinks of.
And we're talking. Go down.
The only place in them actually working and stuff was in a metal forge because that's how they do the slag from underneath it. Because people would die, heat and shit fall.
He talked about the idea of them dangerous situations, dangerous fumes, and uneven ground.
The mines up north, they get lots of guys where you got to fly in, fly out, and then they pay them an absurd amount up north for work. And it's okay, all that could be is say I'm in Manitoba here, in one of our bigger cities. There's just an office building that you go to work in, looks like a normal office building, and you could just go into your simulator, you're in your haul truck, you're in your mine shovel. Come on. Big Easy, get out of here. I'm saying for mines, I think that's awesome for them. But
it would, unless you're the guy.
I'd rather be the equipment operator. I'd rather be the machine.
I gotta say, I gotta move on from that. How about for removing mines? Like, bring it over to Ukraine. 5 dozers, armored up, removing landmines.
I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
Removing
But
Russian.
don't take people's jobs away. Hell
The
no.
thing's
It's not taking people's jobs, but it's the same
Field?
job.
There's a
Jordan, oh yeah, because they're gonna pay you the same. I'm
No.
sure.
Okay, so a
Come
corporate
on.
mindset, maybe a business owner mindset. My
Yeah,
fault.
you know how many buddies I got in the oil field?
Well, not anymore. We're
Blue
taking them
collar.
down.
Going
Going
Not
after
just
them.
blue collar, not get everybody in an office.
there's
But
I have
that's just as bad as the Canadian-made golf carts.
Those are bad.
Made
We
in
talked about that
Canada,
on the last
even though you
episode.
can buy them for $2,000.
Yeah.
So
Sorry, I
There's
get
a-
fired up.
there's a valid reason to why those remote control vehicles would suck from the worker side of it. Let's say
Well, and you can never replace a human. Like you might as well. put
you
them in-
still need a human to operate it. You're sitting in but you're sitting in a trailer
until there's
in a chair.
glitch and
in
somebody
air
gets
condi- oh.
squished.
there's a worse
It's good.
bit, though. There's a horrible part to it. What if I'm replacing a roller on the excavator track and someone didn't lock out tag out in their office in Brandon, Manitoba? And
You
all
think they wouldn't do that? You think they wouldn't do that? Dan, if you died from that, that would make sense,
Yeah.
you dumbass.
I'm pretty
You
sure
go to the
when it's
machine,
so
there'd be a
com-
lockout on the machine, a manual lockout on the machine.
there's
You're
got
being-
there's
But
probably
if
You
there's
lock the
nobody working
program out.
there,
Yeah.
if there's nobody working there, who's going to double check it? They're all sitting in a cushy office.
You
It's
could be on
computerized.
you're
You
the
lock the
mechanic there.
program.
You're going to change the roller. There's a
Clean
manual
clothes.
huge lockout switch. You just and it's only manual control.
What if that doesn't kill their? There's many ways it could fail.
Dan, we'd all be better if this happened. No, I'm just kidding.
Either way, it was super cool to do.
Sorry,
And
bud.
I got Chase doing it on
it was
video.
pretty cool. Yeah, that escalated quick, hey.
And,
We gotta
and
heat
also,
it.
at the cat finning thing, they had like a food truck and it was free. So we had like a free food
Tell
truck.
them
where
about
you
the
can-
loading ramp that we made.
we made a loading ramp out of
To
Edison.
load Topsy.
To load tops up. Dan wasn't there. Dan was working on a private island doing a solar system, but Big Easy came over and
Chase
we
was
built
dope.
we went
He
and got
was
some
so excited about his loading ramp. He must have mentioned it like 1,000 times. He's
Was
like,
it
man,
good?
I really like this loading
He's-
ramp.
Fun for like when we originally built the shop, at, like the tent, because I was there when we built the shop. We moved all the dirt with the Pacific and stuff. And he really wanted a loading ramp anywhere. We dug out so
Yeah.
much dirt, and he wanted to put in a loading ramp, but we couldn't. We just never did. So he's been wanting one for like 7-8 months now, and he finally got it.
Good. I'm glad he got his loading ramp.
It was good.
Yeah.
Then we took Topsy for a rep over the cattle guard. You should see some of the comments on the Junkyard TikTok of Chase and I. I got to ride in it for the first time, and he punches it just before the cattle guard. So the tires are already spinning, and then it hits the cattle guard, spins, and then grabs over. But it didn't have the power steering because the hoses were still backwards. So everybody's like, wow, you got no power steering. And then I had another guy hop on there and be like, you're talking to a guy that's built everything. I built Playtex tampon machines. I'm like, wait, are you flexing because you built a Playtex tampon dispenser? That's your flex? I built roller coasters. I fixed this. I fixed vending machines. I've built everything. So I'm like, all right, what did you call your first ground up developed diesel electric truck? I built everything. Well, wouldn't that
except
fall
that.
under everything?
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool. The Topsy actually laid like 20-foot bacon strips at the bottom of the
Oh,
roller.
yeah.
And
Well,
it's
and
on
it did it all the way.
10% power. Not a 10% D rate. Not a 10% D rate. It was that much power, and you just laid strips off the road. That
Yeah.
truck is
I'm excited to see this thing on a trailer. I'm really
sick.
excited to see what
It's
it can do.
sick. Oh man, 100% dialed up. Okay, so this is a plan we have. So we're gonna cage the brakes and do a proper smoke show. The thing is, with electric,
And the
you don't have to
lockers
go-
need to be in.
you don't have to go through gears. You don't have gears to go through. It's just
floor
straight
it.
up. So we got to be like, we're doing 140-kilometer-an-hour smoke shows, which we're like, we're a little wary of, but we've sat down and we talked about it like professionals, and we decided it has to happen.
I'm
Well,
not
that's like
opposed.
happen.
I'm not
You were
Yeah.
opposed.
there for that, weren't you, Theron?
For what?
Drag races in Quebec.
That has to happen.
I've seen them.
Yes.
Okay, the thing about that is those trucks are actually next level done up 2,000 horsepower trucks. So Topsy will get smoked at those Quebec races.
Not if you turn her up enough.
Mm-hmm.
No, it won't.
Well, it's only 1,000 horsepower. Their transmissions are race transmissions.
It's from rest.
2,000 horsepower. Their motors run one. Their motors will run one trip down that line. Rebuild.
Yeah,
like they're brand new 2,000 horsepower motors.
Yeah. Half of them got 13-speed RTOs and built ISXs and stuff. It'll hold its own.
It would be cool to see. I think I've talked about it with Chase, and we're probably not going to go into the Quebec tractor pulls. But when we're over there, we do want to do the meet and greet in front of CH Express anyway. But the smoke show, that's cool. The traveling across Canada.
Chase was saying driving back is a possibility. It
is a possibility.
Awesome.
Depending on when we do Manitoba show, see you boys in Manitoba.
Depending on when the truck is finished, we'll bring it from there, from Ontario, over to St. John's, Newfoundland. I believe that's where
we got to go down and around Saskatchewan if Bobo and I are involved. But other than that,
how can you get around Quebec somehow? Because we don't really want to go. I don't really care to. Sorry, French people or Quebec.
Why don't you want to go to Quebec?
There was no traffic in Island.
I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. You're trying to get me canceled here, but we got to go over to St. John's, Newfoundland. Start at the ocean, from ocean to ocean across Canada, and we would be the first.
I got friends in Quebec. We're good. I just got to lay low in Saskatchewan. Bobo can't go to Saskatchewan.
Why can't he go to Saskatchewan? What do you do?
Oh my God. Who's in here?
That was me. Sorry. That was me. Yes, as admin, I can type things. Sorry, Dan.
Chase.
I thought Chase might have been watching.
No.
So a couple things to look forward to is a Topsy Smoke Show. That'll happen. And then it's either going to be this fall, depending on when the truck is finished in a month or so, we hope. But if there's snow, we still don't want to do it because bobtailing in the snow, that'll suck. And it doesn't matter what you are. And but then if not, we'll do it next spring. But we have the potential to be the first people to ever do cross Canada in a hybrid. So why wouldn't you
roll it downhill?
Why would you not want to?
We have to roll it downhill through Quebec.
Yeah. Well, and while the truck's in Ontario, and this is what Chase said the other night. He wanted to get the truck to Ontario. When he gets back from Ontario next week, that's when we're really ramping up the retrofit stuff. So the people will actually get to hear about it. And that's when Chase is going to announce it on the Edison stuff.
Very exciting. Okay, we're going to transition a little bit. Darren, what did Manitoba Farmer message you about?
Oh, that's cool. Thanks for getting into that private chat, Jordan.
Yeah. I wanted to ask
so guys, listen to this. So Manitoba Farmer. Okay, no, anyway. Well, I got a text today. I monitor the Edison Motors Instagram and the Facebook and all the messages that come in. So we got a message on Instagram. Someone shared that they saw Topsy going through Moose Jaw, which is pretty sweet. So I reposted to our story. And so Manitoba Farmer, you think he lives in Manitoba, so he's around that direction.
Great guy.
Gideon is awesome.
I love Gideon.
I do too. So he messaged me. He's like, hey, how long ago did he post that how long ago did Topsy get spotted in Moose Jaw? I was like, oh, it was like 2.5 hours ago. The guy sent it to me. He's like, oh, I missed it. So Gideon then, he's like, oh, I missed it. Puts his phone down. Boom. Topsy on the highway. Like,
what?
Literally, he's in the middle of Saskatchewan. He messages me. I'm like,
well, he probably saw it from 10 miles away.
Maybe he's like, he had like some Sixth Sense type thing going on, but he's like, where's Topsy? I'm like, he was in Moose Jaw 2.5 hours ago, so he should have been gone. And he's like, I missed it. Puts his phone down. He's like, shit, there's Topsy. Breaks his phone out, gets Topsy going by. Then he sends me the video. I was like, how did you get that video? Like he's like, I just filmed that right after you told me that. And what are the odds of that? You're in like the middle of Canada. Like you kind of do the math on where Topsy would be on the highway. Do the math, and he's like long gone, and then he's right there.
That is cool. Pretty sweet. That is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
there's high chances in Manitoba and Saskatchewan that happening. Like we could see it coming from a long ways, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, Gideon does a lot of the Edison Motors like memes.
If
like,
you guys see a meme, yeah, it's probably Gideon doing it.
He does the blue collar memes, the Edison Motors memes. Yeah, he's good. Yeah.
Those
I gave. This is funny. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. He might get mad at me, but I'm gonna say it anyway. So I like when I first got the DTF T-shirts, my company DTF, Dangerous Truck Confederation. I did like a thing, and he won a shirt. So I sent him a shirt, and he is Mennonite, and he has he's since left. And then like when I send it to him, he's like, "Oh, I gotta get the mail first in case my dad sees it, and like it'll cause shit in the colony if I get this shirt."
Yeah.
And but he has since left the colony.
Yeah.
And then he told me he was like at the grocery store, and some lady was like checking him out up and down, and he's like, "This is weird." And then he like left, and he get in his truck, and he looks down, and he's wearing his DTF shirt. She's like, "Oh, that's what it was." She was like, "Hey, can I get like a hoodie or some more merchandise?" And
that's funny.
That's pretty funny because now he's allowed to wear whatever he wants, because before he wasn't.
Yes, and because he's off colony now, and he's in Saskatchewan working. I think I don't know what he's doing these days. He hasn't snapped me in a while, but great guy.
He's awesome. Well, while I'm onto this, I said merchandise, so let me just get through these. So anyone else listen to this? So we have just had. I'm wearing it right now. So I got this Edison Motors Seal and Test Idea. Oh, let's see, is Seal and Test Idea shirt. This shirt is. I'll share it to the stage. These are now in the merch store right now. They're pretty decent. Finally got t-shirts again. They kind of screwed up on the sizes, so we don't have the triple extra large and quadruple extra large, but they're coming. Also, they'll be here in like 2 weeks, I think, or 3. We have also ordered these hoodies, Edison Motors hoodies. These are going to be here in a month.
Those look good.
Nice.
They do look good. And I went with like the highest GSM, which is like almost like thread count type thing. So they're good quality. And then also my DTF. So I've had this DTF shirt, DTF design before, but I got some guy to do me up these new shirts. So we got these about to hit the merch store. And
nice.
I kind of like, yeah, so I'm going to have some new shirts in the merch store too, so people can order those if they want. And I think those are like a month away.
Yeah, we might do some blue collar stuff here too, where it'd be like Edison, blue collar interviews kind of stuff. So what you're thinking too, Theron?
Yeah, so, and that was another thing. Like, so if you guys wanted, would you guys?
Sorry, Dan. What do you? You're inside now, I take it.
It's very dark outside. I had to come inside.
Sorry to cut you off there, and I left the chat, went back, and all of a sudden Dan's in a different spot.
Dan's just bouncing around.
Yeah.
It's too dark outside. It was starting to get like me fading into the background. So like I'm gonna go stand in my kitchen now.
I see you put your good Rona shirt on for the podcast.
Yes,
I put my good hoodie on.
Look at this collar. It's like, was that battery acid or moth?
Who knows?
What happened?
Probably one of the times he fell under a tire.
No, I was putting the license. This was almost a year ago now when we bought the low bed trailer from Richie Bros. I was putting the license plate on, and I had to like hang on upside down to drill some holes and stuff, and my hood kept getting in my way. So I took the angle grinder, cut it off, and threw my hood in the bush.
Nice. Through the bush you were living in. When Dan first arrived, you lived in a tent, didn't you?
Yeah.
For how long?
Down the road.
Yeah.
This is on your episode. You do have an episode on blue collar interviews. We'll go into it more, but I was just thinking about that because it was like a year ago. Didn't you just like start a year ago? Yeah, when Dan started, he was just hiding in the bush, like waiting for Chase to come out. I was like, "Can I have a job?"
The 26th of September would be my 1 year with it.
I just read a comment on here.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Sure,
videos
traffickers would give him.
Yeah.
There was no trafficking on the island, I swear.
So if I click on it, I can pop it up here and show it. Oh, that's cool.
You can show it. That is cool, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna get this podcast dialed in.
We are.
Okay, so we got Manitoba Farmer. We got the shirt. Okay, just to get this merch stuff over, we do have the F Tesla stickers, which I should have put up a picture. I don't know why I didn't. I'm prepared. Those are pretty sweet. And the Topsy shirts, we ordered Topsy shirts, which I again should have had a design graphic I could have popped up. But what happened with the Topsy shirts is we released Topsy, and we were supposed to have the shirts by Topsy release, but they were the next day away. They showed up while we were in Vancouver. So we put them on the merch store and it's like, hey, Topsy stuff is here. So I get home and the Topsy shirts are like 2 sizes off, each of them. So I wear a large to an extra large, and I had to wear a triple extra large to make it fit. If you ordered a small,
fatty.
a small had to be a large. If you wore a medium, you had to give them an extra large. So I was like, what? This is bullshit. So we rejected the order. We're like, we are not doing that. So the order got rejected. So we had like 15, 20 people that ordered the Topsy shirts in the merch store. So I've emailed them all and be like, look, there was a sizing mess up. We're not going to sell them.
I had a good idea for another shirt too.
Go for it.
Maybe I shouldn't. I'll tell you what it is.
You can't tease us like that. Yeah.
It's a question, and it's a question that was reiterated a couple times during the build. That really was directed towards Dan if he had ever done something. So
maybe. Okay. Whoa. Maybe.
Have you ever something to do? I already know the shirt. Yeah. Okay.
Did the traffickers make you do it, Dan?
What?
Did the traffickers make you do it?
Dan did traffic. Dan was at like the Motel 6, like the style that has the free adult channels. Him and his girlfriend. That's where they were. There we go.
Nice. Okay. Let me get this out. So
Theron's been trying to finish this thing for a while.
I got to finish the merch stuff. I got to do my merch stuff.
Sorry.
So we had the Topsy shirts rejected. They're coming. They're 3 weeks away. We also ordered Topsy hoodies. They're gonna be sweet. They're a month away. In the next 2 days, I think on next Wednesday, they show up. We got Edison Motors toques, and they're not just any toques. I was like, I want the best toques. We got merino wool, the best wool you can get toques. So we got those toques showing up, and a lot of people have seen those chrome Edison hard hats, like the aluminum ones that are sweet. Chase didn't want to redo them. I'm like, no, we need those, because that's also how I got in with Edison. I ordered one of those when they finally he sold them out in like 4 hours. So I have 100 of those hard hats showing up, and they get shipped out on the 30th. So within like 2 weeks, we're gonna have those chrome aluminum Edison Motors hard hats, and they're gonna go fast. So you guys can get on those when you can. We're gonna tell our decision makers when they show here first. They'll get first dibs. But that's gonna be a pretty awesome merch item. I'm probably gonna keep 2 more because for my kids, Dan, nothing compared to those.
Dan,
nothing.
Get out of here.
Get a new one. Hook me up.
No, yeah. You need a new one, man. And Chase had one, and some guy like who polishes aluminum did it for him, and it's like looking at a mirror.
That one is really cool. That one was on TikTok, wasn't it?
He keeps it in his office. I'm like, why do you want that?
The thing's nuts because why'd you wear it? It's too nice to wear. The thing's beautiful.
It's like a disco.
It is.
Helmet. Yeah. But it just blind everyone.
It's like high vis because of how shiny it is.
Yeah. Don't
Big Easy. Did you just join the chat? Were you not a member before?
Damn straight I did.
I don't know if I'm a member.
All right. So 2 showing up in a few days. Hard hats to be shipped. We're down. Okay. So we're pretty much done my list of things to talk about. I have to get Jordan. Okay. Any blue collar people, you know Jordan very well. Jordan is now farming.
I know. Wild.
Tell us about farming, please.
Okay. Well, it's funny because for people who know me, I do a lot of things. I am a landscaper and I do tree removal. That's like what I do. But then I got this Edison stuff going on. I do a bunch of other side things. I started farming this year with my brother. It's been a learning curve. I wish we did the podcast throughout the summer so I could have given the updates, but now I can give you guys the whole rundown. It's pretty stressful. We broke a bunch of old hay land last year, and you guys in BC, you don't deal with all the land we have, but we just got acres and acres of rolling land here. We rented a bunch of old hay land, took discs and deep tillers into it, ripped it all up last fall, but we didn't do a really good job. So then this spring, when it's time to seed, I was not ready. It was bad. It was scary. We were like, hey, we got to seed here in like 2-3 days before the rain hits us, and the land's not ready to go. It was morning and night, just working those fields, breaking everything up, and finally we got a good dirt quality for a seed bed. I said, Dad, what are you doing?
Dad.
Yeah, always changing.
Making fun of my shirt.
So you put that on? That's supposed to help?
So for people listening to the podcast who
It was
do not
on my
have video.
floor.
Oh yeah, there's
Dan-
people
Dan
who
did-
don't have video.
Dan
Yeah.
just disappeared. Like he like shut off his camera and he shows up and now he's wearing like I don't know, flamboyant. It's a super bright colored pink, red and purple flower shirt. Like tropical type thing, but like maybe either poppies or like lilies. No.
Bobo?
Yeah, just
Bobo's
in
just calling the
101.
Fruit Loop dingus.
Yeah.
Looks
It was
like
on
it.
my floor, and I'm tired of people making fun of my sweater. And I said, "That's good enough."
Well, it'll do. It'll do.
I should say, like, sorry, quickly. For people who are listening to the podcast, you're like, what the fuck are these guys always going off about? There's a video element too. Subscribe to Edison Blue Collar on YouTube, and you'll get to see the whole thing.
Yeah, I
But
forgot we got
get
to point that out now, and I can even say like, hey, like, yeah, at
We
this
do.
time, just go on the YouTube, check it out. You can watch it, or you can just skip 15 seconds, go back to the stories because Dan keeps doing dumb shit.
Comfortable with all kinds
Yeah.
of dudes.
Dan disappearing and whatnot,
Yeah.
but you got to keep going, Jordan. So
Okay. Stressful farming. We finally get seeding. We had other farmers like coming by, like, hey, like you're gonna seed into this. You guys are not ready. And it was like, oh, we're an embarrassment. It's my first time trying to grain farm. I don't know how to do it. We're just going off, online. And then my old man farmed a while back, so we were trying to figure it out. Get seeding. Things go awesome. I got some drone footage. I wish we had it loaded up here because we're running all old farm equipment. We're not like I make a decent
That's the
living.
best.
Things are going well, but I spend money on all my business. It just goes right back into it. So my free spending money isn't huge. So to put into the farm, I had nothing to put in the farm. So we're running like the oldest, shittiest equipment. We bought a tractor from a guy's yard. It had not
I
been
mean the best.
You're gonna hate this, Big Easy. It was so bad. It hadn't really ran much in 15 years. The guy said he'd start it once a year to like clean it out, and that was it. We went from his yard to the field. It's so bad. We didn't do an oil change. We didn't clean the air filter. We plugged onto this cultivator, put it right down low, and just started chugging. And it was black smoke for 4 days straight.
Right.
That thing
Put it
hauled.
to work.
It was amazing. It just chugged. We were like, how did this thing not just throw a rod through the engine mid spring? But
That's
it
awesome.
didn't. No, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Like that thing sat for 15 years and then went to work.
500 miles.
Yeah, they don't make them like they do anymore. Like you go to New John Deere after 2 weeks and its whole battery system's killed the battery. You can't even get the thing going. You're sitting in the shop pissed off, and you go to this old tractor that never gets used and just throw it in the field. She chugs along. So I was pretty happy with that old girl. My brother got the nicer tractor, so.
So what are you farming? What are you gonna do with it?
We planted some barley, and we did have a combine. Like we own a combine. We go custom harvest for guys. And we custom harvest. Let's do our own. So this August, when was it? It was about September 1st, 2nd. We got out, started combining. We combined our 140 acres. That's all we do. We did it in 2 days, which for an old combine, that's pretty good for it. We're going about 2.5 miles an hour, so pretty slow going. But we straight cut all our barley, put it in bins. We went till 6 a.m. the one night, one night till morning because it was raining. It rained at 8 a.m. Like we just got it off, and now we're trying to sell it, make some money. So unless the prices go really down, we'll make a few grand each. We got the farm for fun, and we're gonna do it again next year. So
My wife is outside with her pants down, shirt up, rubbing herself on the window right now.
Theron,
oh my god,
you and your distractions, my boy.
I can't hear Theron.
You can't hear me?
No, it's like
You can't hear me?
It's
my
cutting
wife,
out.
her shirt.
Yeah.
Is it my Wi-Fi?
Oh, you sound good to me.
I don't know, but it's happened 4 or 5 times.
We pick up
Oh
on
my
each guy's
God.
computer. Theron,
She's butt naked now.
there's people who are listening in vehicles who have no idea. What's going on.
If you're just listening.
Well, I guess we're just watching your face too. I guess it really doesn't.
And she is yeah. Can I have a beer at least if you're gonna do that?
Yeah.
Jesus. She's butt naked, rubbing herself on the window at the full window.
I understand your distractions.
Yeah.
That's what Dan did to Bobo.
We got Theron here. Speaking of farming, we got some electric PTO might be advantageous. We got that in the comments. I don't know if we're ever going into farm equipment, but I do think it'd be pretty sweet to have some electric farm equipment.
That'd be cool.
those old gals climbing those hills, it gets pretty hard sometimes. You got to gear down a couple gears.
Well, you just gotta know what
I'm
you're
gonna
doing.
film you.
I
That's
got
what
it
we-
to work. It's fine. I gear down. I get it done. It's just be kind of advantageous.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, there's Nex.
Mm-hmm.
Hi guys.
Hi, Max. You have more clothes on than my wife.
Yes.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Dan, I'm gonna boot you.
I tried to get Bobo's clothes off. He wouldn't do it.
No?
I'm glad.
No,
I
he said,
didn't.
Dan, you're not Dan. Get a grip.
Can we get Bobo up here to just give his a rundown about fully charged for him? Because he kind of hasn't
About
got
what?
away in yet. About fully charged for him. How was fully charged for you, Bobo? What was your take
Well, I
away?
spent most of the time outside because the dog sitter for Blake Dog bailed. But it
I
was
had to
great.
go talk to a truck. You're talking about me?
No, I'm talking about the actual dog sitter.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
The daycare bailed. But yeah, it was awesome. Met a lot of people. There was 5 people that actually recognized Blake from the YouTube videos from Edison.
And there was
That's
a
cool.
guy. We did so when we went back, I forgot to tell you guys, we went back to get the big block for the 2-wheel drive to 4-wheel drive swap 68 Power Wagon we're building right now. We took his 71 Dodge all the way back, pulled it out of a barn, fixed it up in the driveway in 3 weeks, and then drove it 6,500 miles from Victoria to Quebec to Carlisle, Pennsylvania for the Chrysler Nationals, and then back to Victoria in a 71 bone stock 71 Dodge with 4-wheel drums. That's why we're not allowed in Saskatchewan, because we don't know who was driving, but somebody got a photo radar ticket at 183 kilometers an hour. We can't remember who's driving, so we don't know.
Pretty fast.
I happened to be driving in North Dakota and got pulled over doing 95 and a 65 and got the trooper to sign the hood. So he was so impressed and just enthused that I was leaving the country that day that he just wrote me a $120 ticket and away we went. But one of the people that signed the truck in BC in the beginning had always wanted to meet Blake because they watched our original channel, The Car Guys, the one I joined the chat with, and recognized Blake. So he finally got to at the Fully Charged show. In the end, he got to meet him because he recognized Bobo and Blake standing by the light tower.
Very cool.
That's cool. That's cool.
I gotta ask about this Saskatchewan ticket because I was curious about this. I've got out of province tickets before. So if you don't pay them, what happens? Or can you talk about
Nothing. So with the photo radar outside of BC, nothing. They can't do anything. If you notice, you'll get a letter that says may affect, may result in larger fine. Unless you're a resident, and I looked into it deep. Not that I was driving, just I looked into it deep. That if you're not a resident of Saskatchewan, then it doesn't matter. They can't do anything to you because photo radar here is a no-go. So just don't get pulled over again in Saskatchewan.
Okay. But so if you get pulled over again in Saskatchewan, are you getting cuffed or is it just like you got to pay this ticket?
Well, it won't matter for me because the truck's registered. The truck was registered to him.
I'll be in jail.
So, Bob, no, you won't go to jail. They'll probably say you need to pay this and give you a bigger ticket the second time. It's a civil traffic violation. It's not a criminal offense in Canada.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I get
And
so
because
mad at
he's a
those
BC
traffic.
resident.
This,
it has no effect. I mean, this was last summer we did that trip.
I got
one
on my motorcycle. I was going 100 kilometers an hour in a 50 zone. So the ticket was like $900 and I paid a lawyer to fight it. And it was more to pay the lawyer to fight it. And I'd rather do that because screw the city for getting my mind. I'd way rather pay the lawyer and say screw the city.
Yeah. How much was our ticket was what?
$932 speeding ticket.
You're doing 180.
Damn.
Mine was up there. It was terrible.
I mean, yeah, Jesus.
The trooper in North Dakota was great. He was like, "What's in this truck?" And I'm like, "Man, it's the factory 318 with an Edelbrock 4-barrel on it and exhaust that we put on in the driveway." and he was so impressed. And although I did say one little thing to him that was kind of BS. He's like, so the brakes are upgraded and everything. Oh yeah, it had manual 4-wheel drive.
Yeah. Sorry, Theron, I muted you. You had a lot of background noise going on there.
Theron's got some noise going on.
Yeah. So luckily, as an admin, I can manually mute you because you're disrupting conversation.
I just hear him go on the phone and be like, can you bring me a beer?
Yeah. It's like, Theron, we're talking.
You're
God.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you Chase is watching now.
I'll unmute you, Theron. Theron, you're unmuted. You're unmuted. Yeah, we're gonna get Chase back in here. Be having an aneurysm.
Yeah, Chase is watching this having like a stroke. Just done.
Yeah.
Tired of this.
Look at Jim. Who's this Jim's videos guy? I like this dude. Here's a guy who paid for the whole speedometer and is gonna use the whole speedometer.
Hi guys, I'm drinking my beer here. What's the problem?
Good
thought
thing
she
she's
was
clothed.
naked.
I don't think we can show that.
She put her clothes back on,
Mm.
and she doesn't
okay.
even drink beer. She's just screwing with me. Yeah. So sorry about that, guys. I should have hit my audio mute when
I got
got her
you.
beer.
I got you.
He's
Thanks for making me
looking-
admin.
Oh, you can mute me too.
What?
Perfect.
What's
Thanks,
the matter, Papa?
Yeah, no, I muted you because I was like, I can do this great.
Nice.
I can go on and mute you.
Oh, good. Okay, Kate.
All right.
Enough.
I'll do it
We
again.
were
I'll do
finishing
it
up.
again. I'll do it again.
He's in it.
Right there. Done. He's muted.
Do
Okay. Dan the mechanic. What are you doing? What's the day-to-day like for you these days?
So I just got back from the hunting island, or the farm. Sorry, the farming island,
Mm-hmm.
and we were out there for a week. I was in Vancouver for the week. Finally get to come home and hang out for a week before I go out on the 2nd for my girlfriend or fiance's big birthday thing, and then
You're engaged?
yeah.
What?
Since when?
When?
But then yeah,
That wasn't a public
Whoa,
conversation?
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, no.
Pump the brakes here.
Yeah.
No.
Like I just brushed over that.
I don't
What?
Yeah,
talk about my personal stuff often, and then yeah, I go back out to Ontario most likely to work on the truck.
Okay,
He's
great.
still
So you
glancing over the finance thing or the fiance.
did you ask her to marry you?
Yeah,
Did you force it or did you ask?
And she said yes.
you kind of like held
When-
me, like ask me type thing, but you know,
What
Did
are the
her
human
dad-
traffickers gonna say about this? Are they jealous?
Yeah.
I
Did
don't.
you use
I-
like a pork rind or an onion ring to give her for a ring, or did you
No,
get her
I
a
just-
real ring?
you want me? I mean, she's over there.
The
Yeah.
lifesaver.
It's a ring pop.
It probably
Was that
A
a fully
ring
charged?
pop.
Was that after fully charged? When was that?
This was just after I got back from Toronto. From
like yesterday.
next what day?
You'd be back
Hey,
for 2
when
days,
did I
Dan.
ask you that?
Yeah.
You'd be back for 2 days, Dan.
I see this was a monumental moment in your life.
What?
And he's all like, "But my square body Chevy finally runs."
2 or 3 days.
So,
Yeah.
2 or 3 days ago. I know.
Dan's getting married.
Wow.
hey,
Good job. Good job.
so you're telling me that cream I gave you worked?
Yes.
That ring would look pretty nice. So clearly Edison's paying you too much to dial
No.
that a bit.
Oh, this was out of other things. Ow.
You know what he kind of reminds me of?
What?
Weird Al's long lost stepchild with that shirt on.
Oh, I see it. I see it.
The extra
He's-
chromosome one.
I do. Yeah.
Money up, syndrome down.
Living in an Amish paradise.
The chat's just
Okay.
roasting you on your
Is it? Let's
mail
see
order.
this.
The mail order bride. That's funny.
Some kind of maybe the fiance and the traffickers will have to work out some kind of timeshare thing.
Uh,
How did
Oh,
Dan
boy.
get trafficked? He wasn't even
Oh,
there
boy.
when we got to the
It was one of
trafficking.
three of us.
Yeah, like if
Okay.
anything, they tried to
Yeah,
traffic
okay.
Bobo.
What else can we do here?
Traffic.
Okay.
Island.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't see a timer. Oh, we're at 1 hour and 11 minutes.
Yeah, I gotta go finish my Dana 60.
We'll go.
Okay, we got- I think we went through the checklist. Chase is also driving to flying to Ontario here. He's gonna take footage over there for Topsy. Chase is gonna have a good story about this nomination we got nominated for. This is like none of you guys know about this because it happened last night, and we were gonna go to Ontario for a nomination. And there's a long story behind this that we will let Chase tell, but we are pissed, man. They like nominated us for this position. We had to do all this stuff. We had to do like ton of paperwork, ton of everything. And then Chase is gone, but I kind of monitor his emails. So yesterday I missed an email that came in, and they're like, "You guys got it." And then we're like, "Oh, we got it." And Chase like sent him like it's on Ontario. Chase is going to Ontario, so Chase sent him like our flight plans and everything, saying, "Listen, we're gonna be there. Don't worry about it." And he had to confirm. And so that was like our confirmation. And then like within 8 hours from them giving us the email of saying you got it, because Chase didn't respond because he was out of town camping with his fiance. Like finally got like 1 day off out of like in the last 4 months, got away for one night. And then I had to like get them and like, listen, they're moving on if we don't respond. And then they pulled the award from us. And,
what?
Yeah, and they got mad at Chase for his answering machine. Like Chase's answering machine is awesome.
Is it the fake one?
No, it's his like don't leave a message thing.
Oh.
Text me, email me. I'm not going to check my voicemails. Don't leave a message type of thing. I'm going to get it queued up here.
It says it's 2023. Text me or email me. Yeah.
Yeah. So the guy said like basically I would never ever recommend you for a business thing because of your voicemail. It's bizarre. And like I'm gonna let Chase is gonna go off about it. We are gonna
when can he podcast? Like next week?
Yeah, he gets back on Friday. So next weekend we should try to get him on to do this. But Chase wants to this guy we're talking about and like the leader, he's actually pretty big time actually, but he's like you can tell he's just like a crusty old man.
He's
being,
big
like,
time, and it sucks though because when people have the power, like it can. Really
he's got the power, this guy.
But then again, we have a lot of power with our followers, so we can be like right back at you, man. Let's get you retired, bud. Forced retirement.
So that's really unfortunate because we were looking forward to this thing, and I was gonna fly over to Ontario and I was gonna film it. We were gonna do a bunch of good publicity from it. But because they met, we've been waiting 2 months. We've been waiting 2 months to hear if we got it, and then because we didn't, and then I emailed them last week like, did we get it or not? And then because we missed the window from Saturday at 12:45 p.m. to 8 p.m. because we didn't message him back from that initial email. In that time, they gave it away to someone else.
That's ridiculous.
Like, we've been waiting 2 months.
So do you want it then?
What's that? Big Easy? One more time.
You really want it then? If that's
no, and we're in the fucking light. We're gonna burn this bridge to the ground in Edison Motor Chase Barber style. So you can look forward to us saying "fuck you,"
burn it to the ground, and roll over the ashes.
Yeah, so that's coming. Yeah. We'll let Chase handle all that.
You just send Big Easy in. They don't know.
Yeah. Chase will have.
We'll talk about that later. Okay, we probably should wrap up here right away. I am gonna do. I've never done this, but like, hey guys. I hear this at the end of a lot of podcasts. Like and subscribe. It helps us out, gives us more things, gets more encouraged to do these podcasts, gets us more time freed up to do it. If you guys tell your friends about it, you're on job site listening, say, hey man, I listen to this podcast, just check it out. That helps us out. We'd appreciate it. So
I don't know. Let me keep going on that. So how you can do it is subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's the new podcast channel. It's Edison Blue Collar. So it's the Blue Collar Interviews podcast, which is still going to be on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, which you can go check out now and listen to all the previous ones. But the new ones in the video format will be on YouTube, Edison Blue Collar. That said, we have merch in the merch store, edisonmotors.ca/shop, and we're going to get some blue collar merch in there too. And please subscribe to us there. It'll be a big help, and we appreciate all of you.
Wait, Theron.
Yep.
Can we get Edison Hawaiian shirts?
Okay, I was going to shut that down. But I might be in for that. I'm working
on getting Edison plaid shirts.
That for sure. Chase is like known for his plaid shirts.
Yeah, and I got these plaid shirts lined up that we're just waiting for the funds to be able to order them. We need like $12,000 to get all the different cut styles, but they're welding shirts. So it's like a work shirt that you can weld in. They're flame resistant. But they're plaid.
Thank you for saying resistant instead of retarded. We don't want to hurt Dan's feelings.
And
never underestimate the powers of Dan.
when we do it, we'll do it with those ones. So that's in the working. We're not going to get Dan's Hawaiian shirts anytime
Eventually,
soon.
some Hawaiian shirts. I'm kind of into this. Actually.
Maybe eventually, if we like sell out all the plaid shirts and have like a
Edison
DX DOT here. He's on for the Hawaiian shirts too. It's a thing, man. Make it a thing.
Texas DOT. Yeah, he's a YouTube decision maker. So another thing, if you guys want to subscribe, we have a private group where a lot of these guys are in. You got a text group with Chase, although he hasn't been in it recently, but he will be there. And it's the YouTube decision makers. And we put up like those guys voted on Topsy's name, and we give them like I post pictures when things are happening. Like they got to watch like that we're building the ramp and things like that. No, I don't know if you did the top tier. That's the top tier.
I did the tier, although I didn't have to, but whatever. It's because of my
appreciated. For whatever reason, I cannot hear the audio of the things that I play. So we do have an outro for this. So Jordan, can you hit the outro because you can hear that, and you can probably do it in the stream too.
Hawaiian shirts. Okay, I don't know how to do the outro. I've never messed with the music.
Okay, I can do the music, and then you do the button. Go to the top right, end stream. Takes about 5 seconds. We're out of here now, guys? That was good. That's a good first live podcast on that. Thank you, everybody. And I can't hear it, but I'm sure you can. Going out. Jordan pushes end stream.